last session. As you guys have been finding yourself somewhat comfortable in Solbrun, getting to experience a little bit more of what it has to offer. You all sent Kaporin northward by his lonesome to a bookstore. No harm could possibly come from that. While the rest of you went down to the southern wall to talk to Hawkus and get some information gathered, and a few of you had some places to go afterwards. Upon reaching Hawkus, you guys were met by a new individual, Violet. With Polly's information, a professor up at the academy that he had run into in the past, or at least one of his people had run into in the past. Hawkus made a very interesting greeting between Nori and Violet, sort of indicating who everyone was, and Violet laying down her lightly veiled threats. Not only to Nori, but to Hawkus as well. After that tenuous agreement was decided upon and she left on her way, Nori asked a bit more of Hawkus about the Trentamere pieces, in which he answered to the best that he could, before he had to go and make sure no one else killed themselves. Yes, I said else. But at this time, Nori, Bryn, and Racha went off to go see Mazoga at the nursery. And Polly had left the group to go find, first to see his father, to drop off the manifest, and since he was late on getting the manifest to him, got roped into doing some chores on retrieving some of the said items on said manifest. He then went to see Kaporin, catching him just before he dipped down one of the streets, having a quick conversation, and then dragging Kaporin along with him for the first couple chores, so that way he could also get him to sign in at the academy for possible entrance the next day. And you guys did so, finishing a couple of the tasks, Kaporin getting his name in at the academy, and Polly, as you went to go to your last task, you sent Kaporin in the direction of the skeleton closet before heading down to the mining portion of the town. During all this time, Nori, Bryn, and Racha went saw Mazoga. Racha introduced Charlie the cactus to his brethren. Bryn got high on some blood petals. And Nori had an interesting conversation with Mazoga where she was offered tutelage for a future situation, though it does come with a sort of price. Nori took this under advisement, and then Racha, after hover parenting around Charlie for a little bit, came over to Mazoga and asked of her his question, showing the bow and getting a warmer answer than he probably was expecting from her about it. The bow was revitalized to its best degree, and was told by Mazoga that there is a little bit more to this bow, but it would require some training. So Racha, putting that feather in his cap to think about later. I mean, come on. 3-4 classes? That's nothing. So, with that and dragging Bryn out of the hallucinogenic blood petals, no longer hungover, so that's a plus of that whole encounter. You guys left Mazoga and headed back towards the inn. Kaporin visited the skeleton closet, in which he got himself some very leather items, and was a very happy camper as he made his way back to the inn. And Polly, after finishing his little stint at the mining portion of the town, went and saw his sister, had lunch and a conversation before trudging his way back towards the inn. Pretty much everyone conglomerating just as Amric's waking up. Amric, as you wake up, there is a cup of cold coffee on your bedside table with a small note saying, left by your friends to drink when you wake. And that's where we resume.
As far as Amric goes, after the extreme suffering that probably accompanied him waking up, taking a page out of last night's book, he will down the coffee as fast as possible.
It's cold, so it's weird, but it marginally helps. It at least makes your feet work.
Yeah, after that, he's going to trudge downstairs.
Well, you're on the first floor. Remember, they didn't want to drag your heavy ass anywhere else but the first floor, first door.
I'm not sure if Amric will be able to tell the difference in the state, but he will get somewhere.
So, Bryn, Nori, Racha, as you guys come in out of the rain, and Racha probably going into the middle of the room, as Racha would do, and do his fluffing the water everywhere. Bryn and Nori already prepped for this, just turn themselves away as he does this, because your back's already wet, so might as well. Amric, as you kind of trudge out the door and hold yourself up in the hallway, you just get splashed in the face by a bunch of tiny little water droplets. After it's finished and you kind of like wipe away and look forward, there's a very fluffy Racha in the middle of the room.
Welcome to the land of the living, Amric.
Are you sure that's where we are? I think I need some more water and a lot of food.
Nori will get that started.
You see two human women who are now like coming out with towels, kind of slowly inching their way towards Racha.
Can I help you?
Just stay there, little birdie. It's okay. Not going to hurt you.
That's quite suspicious of you.
They both jump. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
As this wonderful craziness is happening, Bryn's gonna pull out the petals that she has and hand them to Amric. She's like, these helped me. Maybe they'll help you.
They both jump and almost collide into each other as you just like jump and almost float in the air.
What the hell was that?
We just want to get you dry before you
water.
drench everything else.
Okay. He'll just sort of stand there.
Just ask.
We've seen him. He just disappears before.
Yeah, he does that.
So then you get worked over by two women as they just take a couple towels and just dry you off completely. A little forcefully.
He's just like humming like it's a shower.
And then afterwards, they hand towels out to you, Bryn and Nori.
Would Caporn be far off from the inn?
You'd be coming in a little bit after.
After Bryn says that, he's just gonna kind of cup all the petals in his hand, and he'll bring them up to his nose, and he's going to take a really big sniff and just go.
Okay.
I didn't know you had those.
Yeah, you look down and Bryn's entire hand is just orange. And she like wipes it off and like puts her hand back in the pocket and then pulls it out and then her whole hand's orange again. Because her whole pocket's just orange on the inside. But yeah, so you take a big inhale and it just smells like someone's pocket. You get a little bit of
It's not
lint.
gonna work like that.
You get a little bit of lint kind of up the nose. It makes you sneeze a few times. And now your hands are completely orange. Luckily, it's through contact, so eventually your headache goes away.
That actually worked really well. Thanks, Bryn. And he's gonna do it again. Another big sniff.
As he pulls his hands away, his like mouth and nose are just all orange now. Slowly becoming an Oompa Loompa.
Bryn's just gonna notice that and look at her hands and go, "Oh, interesting."
You got a little something on your face, Amric.
I've got what?
Yeah, since it's all over his hands, the more he wipes, even if he tries to wipe it
It's
off,
on your hands. Oh shit.
it looks like a 2-year-old with baby food. No, 2-year-old with spaghetti. That super light marinara that leaves just orange stains everywhere.
Where is it, Nori?
We had those towels. They're like slightly damp, right? Just take this, wipe off your hands and your face.
It's basically like turmeric. It just stains so easily. So by the time he's done wiping his face off, the entire towel side is just orange. And you see one of the ladies who is like sort of mopping up the water that Rashad spread everywhere, just kind of like staring at the towel as you're like not sure where to put it now that you've wiped your face off, which has worked about 85%. And you too, Bryn, the more you wipe it off, your hand still has a tint of orange to it. So now Amric just has an orange face, just slightly orange.
I'm gonna go need to talk to Mzoga again, aren't I?
How
Don't
long
worry.
was I asleep?
Three
What?
months.
No, not 3 months.
It's raining outside, Kapoor.
We're dancing in the rain.
Oh, okay. You gotta tell me
What
what check is
time-
for.
What time did you get back here?
I don't think Kima remembers, Nori.
I don't even remember what day I got back here. There was a lot of drinking.
Yeah, based on how Bryn came back, I figured as much.
Don't worry, Emmerich.
I think-
it's the next day still, so.
I think we went to like another 4 or 5 taverns after Bryn stopped.
And how many did you go to?
It was at least double digits. I was well
impressed.
beyond counting that far though.
Actually, Amric, go ahead and make an investigation check.
I think I don't know, more than 5.
About to get orange on everything again. Oh, am I on disadvantage? I am.
This is where Amric
Oh,
realizes
you don't have any of your exhaustions.
It's good to know. 12.
You have a little spark of inspiration as you go searching between all your different pockets where your mugs are. Because last night you realized as you went from bar to bar, you swapped out one of your mugs for one of their mugs. So you have 11 different mugs on you, plus your 2 regular mugs.
Wow, apparently drunk me is a lot smarter than this me. That was a great idea.
Amric's new mug collection.
Yeah. Instead of snow globes, he does
Mug from
mugs.
every bar you go to. That's fantastic.
At this point in time, you should just give up on the wood carving and just give mugs when he gets back.
Then he doesn't have the mugs.
That just means going again.
From here on out, every inn or tavern we go to, Emmerich takes a mug.
And swaps the mug out with speed. It's not going to steal. But yeah, so with logical deduction, you know you went to 11 bars before you didn't make it any further.
Well, if the amount of different mugs I have now means anything, I think we hit 11.
How did she even get back here? Did just someone bring you back?
If I remembered, I would tell you.
That's fair. I'm sorry for asking.
To one of the woman who was staring in disbelief at the now orange towel that you guys had left at the entrance table. She kind of holds it up and is looking at it like, how the fuck am I going to clean this? Two dwarfs and a human male dropped him off. They said his name starts with an A. They dropped some coin and then said put him in a room.
That's probably Polly's dad and Marcus.
About this time, Kaporin comes skittering in from the rain and bumping into the back of Nori.
Does Nori get knocked over? Because she's so much bigger than she is.
No, because you instinctively now position yourself next to Bryn, so you just get knocked into Bryn. And Bryn, you feel this kind of tiny little, like, what 3-year-old child is pushing me right now?
I feel like if Nori is always standing next to her, she just like instinctively goes out and just like steadies her. She's like, all right, whatever is there, I'm
Pats her
gonna
on the
steady because yeah, exactly. Just like, okay, you're there.
You're there. I don't feel blood. We're good.
Oh, hello, Nori.
Hello?
You just get a towel chucked at your head, Kaporin.
Oh, thank you. All across the room.
Just don't make it orange.
Who made it orange?
She just stares.
Nori looks at Bryn, then Emmerich, and then back to Bryn, and then back to Emmerich.
Hey, it's just on my hand.
What did you guys do? Eat a bunch of cheese?
What type of cheese would do that?
Cheetos?
The one Val's eating?
I'm just thinking, in a fantasy world, would they have cheese like that?
Magic cheese that turn you orange? I don't know.
Some wild stuff.
Back at home, we turned all of our cheese into powder.
Then inflated it. We call it a
That's
Cheeto.
I'm glad to see you're out of bed, Emmerich.
And
I'm more
tiger
surprised I
is
made it out of bed. So, what all did I miss while I was out?
I mean, I gave you what I did during that time, so.
I went shopping.
I learned more about this guy. Nori points to her neck, which is covered by a cloak, but we all know what's there. Learned more about this guy and got some interesting druid advice, so.
Holds up his bow and goes, Acacia, and just mumbles through the last name.
Um, another interesting thing happened to me while I was out. I met with Luke.
You neglected to mention that first?
I had fun shopping.
She's just gonna lean down to Nori. It's Kaporin. What do you expect?
Kapoor then like pops the loot into his hand, and he's like, "Sorry, Luke, I didn't mean to say that like condescendingly." As he's talking to the loot. But oh yes, he visited me on my walk. Um, I think something was up with that coffee we got this morning.
What exactly was up with it?
I'm not too sure. I just know the conditions were meant for me to meet with Luke, and according to the identifier scroll, I have to be in an altered mindset or poisoned. None of you. Who else drank the coffee this morning?
I just drank. So I was by my bed.
That was it.
Holly.
Yeah, it was the group besides Nori and Racha. Racha didn't either.
I don't trust strange liquids anymore.
Strange liquids trust you. Do you guys feel weird at all?
I mean, I woke up hungover, went to the greenhouse, saw some nice flowers, and then they made me not have a hangover anymore, so no.
Ditto without the greenhouse.
Oh, interesting. Well,
Again,
conditions.
Bryn's hand is slightly orange, and Amric's entire face is slightly orange.
Looking like an Oompa Loompa. Got it.
Nori is heavily contemplating just going to run back and ask about, like, hey. No, you know what? Yeah, she fucking will after Kaparin finishes his story, because I need to know this.
Yeah, so I met with Luke. It was a nice little conversation. We caught up a little bit. But he said that in order to have a longer conversation, I should ask Rachel for his help.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to Bryn get all annoyed because hers is frozen, but she's not frozen on my screen.
Yeah, she's not frozen on ours either.
If Nori is leaving to go talk to somebody, Racha would follow after her. But
Nori's staying until Kaparin finishes his stuff, because I need to hear this.
Yeah. So Luke came to me and he said to ask Rachel for his help. Something about a particular liquid he has on him called. I want to make sure I have this right.
Radican.
Radican, yes. But besides that, that's all I got from him. Other than, doesn't mean to cause harm.
Are these ladies listening in on us?
The one that's dealing with, like, the towels and everything? Oh, yeah, fuck yeah, she's all in that shit. As you guys do. The other one has gone off. She's in the back room right now.
Nori just kind of looks at her.
She looks at you. She's like, this is my place of business. I need to work here. You guys are the one having this conversation in the lobby.
How about we have this conversation elsewhere?
I'm done. Oh, I picked up some books and some items for everyone, but I'll give that out later.
Alright, that's great. Let's see if I can go fix this issue with the weird petals. Don't steal things from greenhouses, Bryn. It's always a bad idea.
I didn't mean to.
Be right back.
Trudging your way back down to the nursery, You just think
I would stay with her.
with a dark shadow. Easy enough to do. You guys have just came back from there, so you know how to get back. Mizoga's still in everything. Nori still sees you. And Mizoga's still inside, kind of not really startled, because by the time that you get through the nursery to her, the plants have already spread the word along that you're here. So, is there something else I can help you with?
Bryn may have taken some blood petal petals. And they're staining everything. How on earth do I get rid of those?
Oh, margarine.
All right. Kind of all I needed. Thank you.
It'll come off on its own eventually too, so it's not like.
Some ladies at the place we're staying are very unhappy because their towels are now orange.
I think there's.
Oh yeah, the towels that are going to be stuck orange.
Oh boy.
I think there was something different about the coffee we drank this morning. In Caparin's voice.
Yeah. A couple of our group had some strange coffee. Racha and I didn't. I don't know what it was though.
Well, would Polly have said the name of what it was so that Rachaka?
He did say it to Bryn.
Yeah, it would have been right
Rachaka?
after I handed it to Bryn.
Yeah.
So Racha repeats it, although me as a player do not know what it's called.
Criollo.
beans.
She just looks like she doesn't know what it is.
All right. Thank you for your time again.
Of course. She just goes back to the plants.
Yeah. Nori walks on back, kind of looks at the plant that reached out to her again, and then keeps going.
All right. Back once more into the inn. This time, Polly, you're cutting in before they get back.
Racha fluffs his feathers again and pisses everybody off.
Before you get back, the innkeepers are waiting for you.
Just tackle me from the inside of the door. Like,
I'll walk in, grab a towel.
Yeah, Polly, as soon as you come in, there's a woman standing there with a towel. You almost think she's going to cover you with the towel, which she kind of flinches to do so, but then just hands you another one.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll hand her a silver piece, and I'll immediately walk over to Bryn. We need to talk.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, nobody gets any more coffee. Done.
Okay.
Was something wrong with that coffee? I swear.
I'll tell you later.
Amric over in the corner, like getting the last like little bits at the bottom of it. Swishing his cup with some like water, just to...
I will head up to the room, my room.
Okay.
Racha and I there?
You guys are getting after Polly. So Polly comes in, does his thing, goes up to his room. Then Nori and Racha, you guys come inside. Nori, you almost get tackled. Racha, go ahead and make a dex save. Hey!
I actually called it too. I was like, one of these I'm gonna win this.
Because Nori goes in first, and Nori, like, you kind of like, it's not meant for you, so it's easy for you to get out of the way, as this woman just full on bear hugs you, Racha. Doesn't, like, cover your face, so your face is, like, right next to her face, and she's like, just gonna go ahead and dry you off before. Yeah.
Oh, hello there.
Hello.
Business or pleasure?
For this one, it's a little bit of both.
Wonderful companion for the journey.
As you just feel her hands just going and shaking you down like a dog, like drying off a dog. She, like, tests your feathers to make sure that they're not soaking wet, just a little damp, and she lets you through. So,
He could hold up to 7 people comfortably, and he tries his best to do a wink, but I don't know if a bird can actually wink, and he'll go wandering off.
you just show her only one eye and then close both eyes.
Does a little bit of a sparkle come off, like ding?
Oh yeah, very very DBZ style. And then it's about like probably halfway up the first flight of stairs that you do your little fruffle thing anyway, because your feathers have been all mismatched now. And so there's a little bit of water, so you just spray the inside of the hallway of the staircase.
Nari just gets sprayed again.
Yep. All right, you guys.
What's wrong, Polly?
Nothing's wrong. I just need to talk to you. I need to talk to Illinade because it's been a couple of weeks, and I was wondering if you had if you had a question for him, and also I need to know if we can tell everybody else about this stuff because it's kind of weighing on me, like having this big old secret from everybody else, and I don't like it. And I know that we have to keep it if we have to keep it, but I mean, I didn't want to say anything to anybody else until I talked to you.
I think it's up to our discretion, and I think if we do it not in the lobby, that's fine.
Okay.
You know, just like
Why are we talking
we
about
like to
stuff
do.
like that in the lobby?
Yeah, yeah. You would think we wouldn't, right?
I mean, we've already been scolded about talking about it in the open street. So,
Yeah. You would think we wouldn't do that, but it keeps happening, Polly.
yeah, I know. Well, I mean, we leave each other for an hour or two, and there's so many things that happen in that time. By the way, also wanted to ask you, and I'll ask Emmerich too when we go back downstairs, or bring them all up here. Who knows? I was thinking about talking to Kuramarsh and asking him if he would train with you and Emmerich if you guys are up for it, since Kaporin is going to the library tomorrow afternoon-ish, if he gets in. I thought, instead of you guys just like sitting here doing nothing, you might learn or train or something about that.
That would be awesome. I would enjoy it. And then I did tell Nori just a little bit, just to let you know, but
Okay.
I didn't tell anybody else.
I trust Nori to keep a secret. I trust them all to. Well, most of them. I know Kaporin will keep a secret if he has to. I don't.
I think
he
we
has
just have to be careful about anything. Is there anything that we shouldn't tell him? I guess is what we need to think about.
Yeah, that too. Well, I think the whole part about the last life and the not making a big deal out of it and not making it too public, I think that's like the biggest thing. Because if he starts going on about that, someone's going to hear and then we're going to get screwed.
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
he's going to get screwed over.
Yeah, I agree.
But I also I'm going to ask him about Valfor and see where he is on that progress. And I haven't heard from him, which, I mean, obviously I'm not the top of his priority list, but I did want to ask him about that piece that's not supposed to be here. Is there anything you want me to ask him? Because I have an extra question left.
Nothing that I can think of right now.
Okay. Do you want to hang out while I do this, or do you want to...
If you don't mind, sure.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
Before we get there, 1 second. I need water.
Yeah, no problem. If you want to switch back, or...
No suffer in dry mouth, cotton mouth area, right?
So
Yeah,
none of
DMing
us are
cotton
with
mouth.
this conversation, I assume, right?
Rachel's been caught.
So Racha's over with Kaparin, like Rakatin or whatever it was. What was the name?
Radican.
Nori desperately trying to get you guys to shut up.
Well, we're in a room, I would assume, at this point. We all walked upstairs.
Never mind then.
Nora's over there trying to cover both of our mouths still, just out of instinct.
All right.
Well, for Rich
Or
I'd just be kind of
throw-
like, shut the beak.
Rubber band around the beak like a lobster hand.
Like Jaws, it's like closing down is strong, but opening up is just there's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's probably some sort of like leather strap to his BDSM wear that you could just sort of wrap around it.
Probably.
Born offers the choker.
Since you're so much smaller than most BSM wear would be, you probably have like a good 4 or 5 straps left over. Okay. Go ahead, Polly.
I'll just cast Commune. Hey, it's me. I haven't heard from you in a while. First question, how are you doing?
Pulling up his. Sort of in a different vein from the sending message that you're used to, and how feeling sending and receiving that. This almost feels like it comes from you, and so much so that if you were to let go of it, let go of control over your body, that you would start saying the words, and you
I
kind
would
of
actually prefer that.
and you kind of do so. After he starts talking, you get that feeling, and you pretty much, out of Polly's mouth, you hear Illinaid's voice. Been better, been worse. Seems like you all are doing interestingly.
Sure. Just curious, did you find Lauri and that piece of Valfor?
Haven't found her specifically. Found her trail. And picked up a few pieces of Trentamere to help with Valfor.
Okay, wow. Wow, okay. I mean, yeah. I'd say be careful because he likes to retaliate if you use anything of Trentamere around him. Just curious, are Valak and the others with you? Because they kind of disappeared, and they said they were going to be at that town that we were at for a while.
Other things arouse big to-do within the government.
Sure. No prying. Don't need to know the details. Not my bag. But we are in Solbrun right now. You probably know that. But just wondering if there's anything that you need us to do here or anybody to talk to so we can pass on information.
Currently, no. I have 2 other stewards in Solbrun. If anything, tell your father hello.
Will do. You keep safe, and I guess, wow, that sounds really weird saying that to you. And hopefully we'll talk later.
It's weird. You see Polly kind of get this big smirk across his face. One you've seen on Illinaid before, like a big, just shit-eating grin. And then he gives you a wink, Bryn. That it's just so off from Polly's demeanor that it's almost like looking at a very short Illinaid as he just kind of gives you a big old smile and wink. And then Polly kind of goes back to his normal standing position.
That was the grossest, weirdest thing I've ever done.
That was really weird.
Yeah.
You looked like you, but you looked like him. It was
Yeah.
strange.
let's not do that again for a while.
It only happened because Bryn was in the room.
Sure. That's creepier than normal. How about we meet up with the rest of the group? Because I gotta talk about that coffee.
Because you
Gonna die.
I hear a light
No,
knocking
we're
on the
not
door.
Who is?
Nori.
Oh.
Because she probably
Yeah,
went back
open
to
the
her
door.
room, didn't find Bryn, who was like, well, where?
Yeah. Everybody come in. It should be big enough for most of us, right?
Yeah, they're decent sized rooms.
So, deal about the coffee. I talked to my dad about it.
Should I
Rachel
get the
told me
boys?
off the hook. Huh?
Should I get the boys?
Oh, I thought that everybody was with you.
Just
Yes,
Nori and
please
Rachel,
do.
Yeah, go grab Emmerich and Kaparin.
Amric has 2 rooms right now, so he's confused as to which one to be in. But luckily,
You
just
know
2
what?
rooms.
My room from last night probably smells like alcohol sweat, so I'm gonna go with the other one.
Okay.
I say we divide and conquer, and Nori went to one, and Rachel went to the other.
And since Rachar's faster, he probably went down to the first floor one.
Yeah, and just woo. Okay.
Oh, never mind that. And he comes back up, and you guys all get back into Polly's room. Door closed and locked behind you.
So, deal about the coffee. I mentioned it to my dad. Rachel, we're off the hook. He wasn't too worried about the hammer. But no drinking coffee from now on. Turns out, it kind of drains your magic. Yeah. So unless we, have a wizard that we're capturing, and we don't want him to use a lot of his magic, I'd say we lay off the beans. Also, Nori, might be a good idea for your not dad.
Knew I liked you.
But also, yeah, let's just not, because, we need as much as we can get. Yeah. And Amric, Bryn and I were just talking, and I was saying that I might contact Kurmarsh and see if he would train with you guys tomorrow if you're up for it.
That sounds great. I would definitely appreciate that, Polly.
Yeah, I'll send a message to him in a bit and see if he can meet up with us later this evening, maybe for a drink or something. Obviously not to get shit-faced or anything, but, friendly conversation.
Oh, Polly. I
Yeah.
don't know if I told you this earlier, but I did speak with Luke, and he didn't mean to do it. He had no aggression against you, and I'm sorry on his behalf.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was like 3 weeks ago, so I kind of wrote it off, but, yeah, I mean, thank you for thinking of me and, all that stuff.
Of course, he had a few things to explain for us, so I just wanted to clarify that. You weren't here earlier when I told everyone else, but according to him, I'll be able to have a longer conversation after Rachel gives me a hand with it. So maybe in the next week or so, I might have some more answers for everyone.
Well, that'd be nice. I mean, especially for you.
Yes. From what I've gained, loot is a lot more powerful than it so seems, but we'll see how that goes. Oh, and I have presents for mostly everyone. Escaporin starts handing out the different items he's picked up along the way, offering the girls the book. Amric is getting
Who
a
do you
whip.
hand it to?
Nori, because that's
well,
his
it's
closer
not-
friend.
Roll a d4.
D4.
No, well, so Nori gets the book.
I'm trying to save you getting at least a d6 worth of damage thrown back at you.
Damn it, Val.
But that wouldn't be on brand if you didn't.
I know. Nori gets the book, or Nori would actually get the book last. Kaporin would first hand out the whip to Amric. It's a bullwhip. Ruchaw gets a choker. Polly Caporn informs you that he has to do a couple things to his, but he shows him the mask. He's like, "This is your new head bag," and then hands the book to
fuck?
Nori lap.
I'm not wearing that.
It's not for you to wear. It's for you when you do your cleric thing and you chop off the head, just so we don't have to keep shoving it on our bags.
Okay.
What book did he give me?
Some girls bite.
Does Nori have to read like the back page or a couple pages to see what it is?
I'll read what the back says.
Caporn adds in that it was highly recommended for the two ladies of the party from the librarian, or from the bookman.
Proprietary.
Nori, who is going to flip it over, you start saying that, and then she freezes and just kind of looks at you. It's like, what store did you buy this from? And what section?
One Polly sent me to.
I had started
And-
writing the back cover of that book, but I didn't finish. Now I'm sad.
I have the new. What?
Yeah, I have the new
name of
ones in
store.
the library.
I've actually taken the cover, the descriptions of the books that you gave me from the internet and added them on to the digital copy in my inventory.
Nori will start to read the back just because Val said he was sad, and I don't want to have that happen.
No, I was sad that I didn't finish it. All I've got so far is a fiendish tryst between the living and the dead happens as...
Yeah, fiendish tryst was all she needed. She just goes, "Did you buy a smart book, Kaparin?"
I don't know exactly what yours is about, but it was highly recommended from the gentleman.
Insight check.
Smart book?
Yes, give all the words to Richa.
Well, he's like
Oh,
asking like a question. Would he know what a smart book is?
Nope.
Richard, I actually have a book to read to you later, but we'll get to it. 11. What is the counter score? Deception, right?
Are you trying to deceive? Because I don't think you got a... You didn't... So yours is persuasion.
Persuasion?
He's like a plus 13. I can't. He beats
Yeah.
it with a nat 1.
But if he nat ones, he fails.
Yeah. I mean, Caporn's technically not lying. He doesn't know exactly what the book's about,
Yeah,
other
so it's
than that it was
persuasion.
recommended.
Yeah, he's just like, sorry, I don't know what it... literally, the guy told me, and you're like, okay. Fuck that guy.
I asked who it. He asked who it's for, and I told him my two female friends, and he recommended this book. Yeah.
Nori thinking of the past that Kaparin specifically bought a book to tease Bryn and Nori all those months ago. Does not trust it.
Nori's looking at Caporn like that, and I bought 3 books for myself, and he fans them out in front of everyone. He's like, these are for me.
Kaporn, as you fan him out and you realize that you haven't really looked at the back of these yet, you see the one, that last one that you bought, the Kingdom of Fur and Flesh. There's a very interesting picture on the back, in which your finger seems to be right over the good bits. And so you kind of like slide your thumb and then really quickly put it back like, all right, that's a picture book, okay.
Caporn just kind of holding it closer to the chest as he's fanning it out. It's like, yeah, these are the ones I bought for myself. The last book you said?
Yeah, it was the werewolf one. I believe it was Kingdom of Fur and Flesh.
Yeah, the Kingdom of Firm Fish.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised that Kaporin bought himself a werewolf book?
Caporn didn't know it was a werewolf book until afterwards. Or midway in the
Nori,
conversation.
what's your passive perception?
23.
Kaporin, do a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
I nudge Bryn and Amric and I pass over one of my flasks.
Wait, Bryn has her own. She'll take it out.
Oh, never-
Cheers, yeah.
23.
You tried putting the Assassin's book just right, so no telling information might come across. But Nori, as you're looking at these books, you can't help but see VAL in the bottom corner of one of them as he's holding them up.
And then Kaporan quickly puts the book away.
What was that?
As this is going on, Bryn's just gonna grab the book out of Nori's hand to look at it as well.
When Polly hands Amric the flask, he's gonna take out one of his mugs, unstop the flask, and just pour it in.
Roll a d12.
Racha is going to stealthily read the book from over Bryn's shoulder.
Yeah, Bryn will like start to read the back first, and then if it doesn't give her a clue of what it is, she's just gonna open up to a random ass page because she's like, I'm not gonna start at the beginning.
Who's rolling the d12?
Amric. Bryn's passive is worse than that, so you're stealth behind her. Okay, that is the Mad Hippo cup that you're pouring it into, Amric.
I didn't get that.
The Mad Hippo Tavern. That's the
What is
mug.
the role associated with me grabbing the book from him?
That would be a sleight of hand check.
What's my counter?
Yours would be a dex save.
A deck save? Okay.
Yeah.
Not a great roll on my part.
Just enough, though.
No!
Alright, what the fuck is this?
You read the back, and it basically is saying it is a harrowing revision of the story of the Assassin's Guild of Ixia. Nori, make a dex save. Nope, he steals it back.
Can I use my new whip in Indiana Jones to look away from Kaporan?
You can certainly
Like,
try.
already throwing it bag.
Racha's gonna go for it too. We're playing this game.
Amric,
Bryn's
go ahead
just
and
gonna-
roll a d20.
Bryn's just gonna back away, reading the back of this book, and go
Alright.
sit on the bed or something.
The flask people are sitting on the bed. Okay, you hit Racha as Racha is trying to dive over towards the book now. Racha, make a dex save. Is an ultimate clusterfuck of 4 people, a whip, getting all thrown out together. Luckily, it just stops you, Racha. You kind of stop before the whip kind of like snaps in front of your face. But Kaporan, you have control of the book right now.
Orange
Hold it up
dimension
to Bryn
doors.
again.
His room.
I'll lean over to Bryn. Hey, when you're done with that, can I read it?
Yeah, Bryn's gonna read the back, and if it doesn't give her much, she's gonna like she's gonna look at a couple pages and see like, is this a weird book or is this a normal book?
Kaporan,
I
dex
actually
save.
put the description in the chat.
Yeah, that's not gonna get. She's like, kind of sounds somewhat normal right now. We're gonna keep going.
Bryn, go ahead and roll a d100. Racha, as soon as Kaporan dimension doors, you grab hold of him at the last moment, and you guys both poof into Kaporan's room.
I go for the book still.
Alright, this will be athletics versus athletics. Bryn, you open up a page, and no words on this page. This is a 2-page cover art for a chapter. Wow.
And how interesting is that?
This fight for the book is the saddest thing you've
Yes. This is straight up child open hand slapping each other for the book. Kaporan right now is just using his height.
This is
And
amazing.
Racha, not even trying to climb it, just like jumping
Yeah.
and reach.
And Kaporan at full arm's length against Racha's face. Yes, Bryn, this is a very articulate drawing of something you've never seen or fathomed of doing. At first, you're just like, whoa, and you kind of like look, like pull back, and then you're like, is that even possible? Nora, you look over as Bryn's got the book like turned at like about a 40-degree angle, and is kind of like tilting her head the other way, like squinting a little bit. And then, Bryn, you kind of see Nori looking at you, and you're yeah, how dare you, Kapor? Oh, Kaporn's not here.
I'm
And
gonna lean
Polly's
over
right
and
there.
maybe I lean over and I say, "Oh, I've seen some what else do that."
It's not wrong.
She's gonna just close it slowly. You said Kaporin's not here anymore?
Nope, him and Richard are gone.
Alright, we're gonna hold on to the book. Polly, I think you can have it once I do one thing first.
Okay, sure.
I believe Kaparin has bought a book that contains less.
She'll show him the picture.
Yeah, that. Except my father's.
She doesn't show Nori. She shows Polly this book, this picture.
Oh.
Kind of doing the
Oh.
whole like.
I mean, I'll read it before I recommend it to Laverne. I mean, just so I can like give her plot points and things like that, just to fuck her over by ruining it.
Yeah, we'll see if there's a plot to the book.
It looks pretty plot driven.
There's a pretty thick plot to that book.
How far away is Kaporn's room from Polly's
It's
room?
on the. I think I said it was on the same floor as the girls' room, but closer to the stairs, because the girls got the farthest room away from everybody. So you guys are on the 3rd floor. Polly's room's on the 2nd floor.
Okay. Kaporn runs over and locks the door, just to be safe. And then pats Richard down with his other hand. It's like, I'll read this book to you later, but I have to hide it for the moment.
Why?
Actually, because if Nori gets her hands on it, she'll tear it apart. Actually, would you care to make a deal, Richard?
I'd rather not get shot again.
One looks over, like, that's pretty true, on point. Well, I was gonna suggest, I'll read you the lines that you want, but can you hide the book for me?
He's like considering it. And he's like, the lines that I want. How can you be so sure?
I have 3 books, and I'm going to the library tomorrow. I'll help you if you help me. This is how this is gonna go.
This is feeling more and more like that drug deal you made at the club.
Yeah, he's just like,
It,
Richard makes a lot of deals for somebody who doesn't,
You
who
can't speak
one
correctly.
of those, yeah, and one of those deals is very, very dangerous.
I like how Kaporn and Richard just made a quote deal over his smut.
He's
Look.
like, he's thinking about it for sure. He's like, no promises. I'll do what I can.
Thank you, Richard. If it all works out, I'll help you with your. I can call it English, common, as much as I can, and anything else I can.
Don't forget, he likes Draconic too.
You like the and Kaporan repeats it in Draconic, fuck the fucking queen. He's like, you'll get more lines like that, like no problem.
Like, I'm gonna juice you up with whatever you want to know.
If I get a
You
hold
need
of that book, it burns.
Kaporan knows 4 languages. He'll teach you as much as he can in the 4 languages. You ever want to hear a chorus singing bird? There, you'll learn Celestial.
You're just
He already knows
handing
what
out all
it
these deals.
I mean, honestly, Nori, if it's a book about that and he bought it at the Eye of the Newt, that means that's not the only version of it. So it's not
That
like they're
is
going to
not.
go around the country and burn all of the books.
No, that's not the point of this. People may read what they read. The problem here is that we all know this man, and he has people who essentially track us. So there's a high probability he finds out we have that book. His daughter has a friend who owns a smut book about, or owns whatever book that is about him. I I don't want that. Believe it
I'm
or
still
not,
not
I
seeing
don't
the
want
point.
that.
I mean, wouldn't you want to get to know your dad a little bit better?
Nori just kind of looks at Polly.
I mean, it's an option, in Rachaw's words. Hey, let's just put it down to getting to know Yelena better.
Does Kaporan and Rachel have a deal?
Yeah, he's good. He'll take the book from you still.
Perfect.
Woo, I'm awful peckish. Let's have lunch.
Yeah, food sounds good.
All right.
I enjoyed this so much.
So Kapor and Racha are staying in their room while everyone else goes and has lunch.
Bryn put the book in her bag.
I bet she did.
Bryn can thank Kaporan later.
Sure. Thank is the word for that. Yep.
She'll thank you with the book entering your cranium.
Kaporan asked for Rachel, I may need to borrow a coconut if you have any more on.
Not gonna help. You may need to borrow a coconut. And, like, he actually holds up his coconut that's like super rotten. It's not even a coconut anymore, really.
Oh yes, we'll have to replace your helmet at some point.
Okay. So you guys go and have some lunch. Nearest restaurant is the Decoy, which Polly would probably direct you all to. That or the Royal Frog Bakery. For all you guys, for a good lunch, you're looking at a gold and 2 silver.
That's for everybody?
Yeah.
So for each person, a gold, 2 silver, or all together?
A gold and a silver all together.
I got this.
All right.
So, plans for the rest of the day, guys. What are we doing? I gotta reach out to Kurimarsh, but that's all. That's the only thing on my list.
Well, I have one thing I want to do, but it's going to become more of a project.
Like what?
I want to start messing around with spells. I want to see if I can either improve the ones I have or maybe make something new.
Maybe do that somewhere not in town.
Yeah,
Since magic is
I
real
got
bad
that
here.
much.
Yeah. Val, if I cast sending, like if I try to do it subtly in the restaurant, it's still gonna be weird, isn't it?
For for you, you're not Kaporan, so you don't need to say it out loud. So it wouldn't be as obvious. It kind of looked like you're just really deep in thought.
Okay, I'm gonna put my head down for just a second and just quick send to Kurmarsh. Hey, it's Polly. Wondering if you wanted to grab a drink. Wanted to talk to you about some stuff. Laverne will probably be there, and I'm bringing my friends.
Sure. When and where?
Meet you at the Familiar right at closing time. Dusk, I mean. And yeah.
All right. Drinks are on you.
I'll look up at the group. Okay, we're on for dusk. Meeting with Kurmarsh. I'm gonna send to my sister and see if she wants to help out since she was training with him as well. That just gives you guys more people to do stuff with all at once instead of having to trade off.
So
I'll
who
just
exactly is Karamash?
He is Mazoga's son, one of the twins. I traveled with Eartha Marsh for a while, but yeah. So you remember that dimensional thing that I talked about a while ago?
Yeah?
Oh, Otis?
No, not Otis. Kind of Otis, but not Otis. So the one where I'm from a different dimension, but then we got sent here instead of going back to our regular dimension. Anyway, Eartha Marsh was there with me when that happened. So we're pretty close. And he's my nephew.
To be fair, you guys all passed by him as you entered the city.
He's the one that shot Nori, right?
Yep.
He is the one that shot Nori.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, he protects. That's his job, right?
Oh, no judgment. It was my bad for flying over the city like that.
I mean, was it your bad? Or was he trigger happy because they were training?
A little bit of both, probably. I mean, we already established that magic isn't super well accepted, even though it's more than it was. Probably should have been a bit more careful, flown a bit higher, maybe been less obvious about scouting.
Yeah. Well, either way. So we're gonna meet up at dusk and buy him some drinks and talk about that. And yeah, I'll have Laverne come along too, and hopefully she won't get pissed.
Why would she get pissed?
Like drunk.
Okay, that's fair.
Take the piss.
Anything else you guys want to do before we meet up? Any place you want to go? Any place you want to see? I know it's raining, but you know, that's good for things, I guess.
Chaw just thumbs at Caparin and goes, drugs?
You need to buy drugs.
I think Ritual has them already.
Oh, okay.
Is there any place I could potentially buy a very expensive silver mirror? I want to find something for Scry.
I mean, there's the mall.
Okay.
Sorry, it's called the Companion, and it used to be like one big store, and it still kind of is, but it's kind of incorporated a whole bunch of stores around it to make it look like, well, it's a big market, basically. Also, there is the market, but The companion has more covers, so I think that would be easier to get stuff in right now, whereas the market or town square is kind of more outdoorsy.
Well, I don't mind the rain, so either way works.
Town square has nice hot pretzels.
They're very good. I had cinnamon on mine.
I haven't had
Sorry,
pretzels
I meant
in
the companion.
forever.
As Kaporan all of a sudden randomly joins you all.
He's been there with us.
Where
hasn't
did
he?
you come
Oh,
from?
No.
No, him and Rachel were on a different floor as you guys left.
That's right. I'm sorry.
I thought we were all at lunch at this point.
I'm sure there'd be a couple things that happened as soon as Kaporan made his face known.
I followed Rachaw, knowing that Rachaw probably would have found the group first.
The book's not around. She's not going to do anything.
As
So,
Corn just kind of pops up behind Polly. He's like, "Yeah, the cinnamon was good."
yes, they are. So now that we're finished with lunch, did you want to head over to the companion? It's only a block and a half or a block away.
Let's go then. And buy a very expensive mirror.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, the companion is a mimic.
The entire store.
Getting up, Bryn's just gonna elbow Kaporan real hard in the gut. She doesn't have the book out, but that's what she's gonna do.
Ugh, I deserve that. I'm sorry.
Alright, so we're heading to the companion. It is packed. It's a very large, covered sort of strip mall-esque feel. But very busy. Multitude of things in here. It feels like 4 or 5 general shops all shoved together as far as the amount of inventory goes. Very much Costco-esque. But they don't allow buying in bulk. Attached to this is a small, seems to be a magic stand that is currently selling magical items. Beyond that, it has pretty much everything you've ever wanted or thought to have once as far as equipment goes. Regular equipment, that is. So you want to buy a fancy mirror?
So it's for scry. So it would a focus worth at least 1,000 gold, such as a crystal ball, a silver mirror, or a font filled with holy water. A crystal ball would be kind of hard to carry around, and a font filled with holy water is not something you can carry. So a silver mirror it is.
Silver mirror it is.
Because both Polly and I can cast scry. And I don't know, it feels like something useful to have.
You need scry when you have a book that's a fanfic.
Okay, so they would have one thing that would work. A silvered mirror. It's like a solid thing of silver, but it is polished so highly on one side that it is mirror reflective.
Would it work as this focus?
Yeah. It costs 1,300 gold.
Corn heard magic stand. He's over there.
Okay.
So that would be the only thing that would work.
That they have available, yeah. This is it's Costco, so they have a lot of things, but they don't have a lot of variety of the things that they have.
Okay, come back to me. Crown's at the magic shop.
Yeah.
I can throw in 15 platinum if you want it.
Comparing over at the magic stand, it's got some decent attraction to it. Let me pull their list up.
Shaw's probably there with him.
Corn put Rachaw on his shoulder so they can both look over everyone.
Let's be real. I'm your backpack, and you don't even know I'm there.
Yeah, that's pretty true. With a passive of only, what is it? 13? Corn wouldn't even know you on like you're probably your lowest roll.
Yep. You
Most
don't know
people
where
just
Rachel's.
most people just think I'm a stuffed doll on your
Yeah.
on the back of your
No,
backpack.
one of those Chewbacca backpacks, where Charlie even like puts his head up and mouth open a little bit. Okay. Looking for anything specific, or just looking at what they have? Because they have an array of. They've got 3 tiers of items, very mundane and ordinary things. That's roughly in the 0 to 150 gold range. Then you've got their more slightly useful items, ranging from 150 gold to 2,000 gold. And then you got their specific created items. So their first edition items between 2,000 and 10,000 gold.
So the sorry, just want to make this clear. Custom items that they made 2,000 to 10,000,
To 10, yeah.
and then they had generic items.
Yeah, they've got mundane items, they've got useful items, and they got their specialty items. I just want to know what price range are you looking at?
Probably under 2,000. 2,000 max.
Let me just take it off of needing the spacebar to type. Okay. We've got. All right. So. The mundane items they have sort of out and spread out upon the different little tables. You see some people are picking them up. A lot of them are attached to the table to some degree. Some aren't, but it seems that there is a magical tether. As one of the kid kind of like tries to turn around and like show his parent, and it kind of just snaps back to the top of the table. And he's like, "Whoa, that's awesome!" And he just keeps doing that instead. The useful, the section that you're looking at is a shelving unit that is up against the side of the stand. There's 6 shelves, about 18 items altogether are on here. These also have the same sort of either are physically attached or magically tethered to the shelf as well. And then all the specialty items, there's 5 of them, and they all reside underneath the glass. So the first, just gonna go from the top down. The very top one, there are no like tags that say what these things are. So there is a medallion at the top left. There is what looks to be some sort of necklace right next to it. A simple looking leather bag next to that. A pair of slippers on the second shelf. Both left and right foot. a pair of boots next to that. And then what looks to be a simple stone next to those shoes. The next shelf kind of catches your attention. It looks to be almost a leather bag with some sort of pipes coming out of it. And the pipes each have finger holes, so you're guessing it's some sort of instrument. There is a simple hat that's next to that. Almost fedora-looking-esque. There is a pair of gloves next to that. Next one down, you've got some goggles. Some sort of gem. And a deck of cards. And then underneath that, you've got, looks to be a cloak. Bracers of some sort. And another bag. Underneath that, you got a bottle of perfume. What looks to be some sort of lock. And then what looks to be some sort of journal or book of some sort. So which one are you interested in?
One would first ask about the bags, the 2 leather bags.
Okay.
And not the thing that sounds like a bagpipe.
The bag on the top and the bottom shelves? Or second and bottom
Yeah.
shelf? Alright.
Yeah, Kaporin interested in those ones if you think he's familiar with leather bags and kind of magic, so he's kind of thinking it through. Maybe this is another bag of holding. That would be kind of cool.
We don't need any more. We have like 5.
Yeah, but Kaporin can hide his own stuff in his bag. So if he had his own,
The bags are roughly the same thing, except they're different colors. The one on top looks to be like a leather. The one on bottom looks to be like a rusted leather, like that, that red-orange color. The gentleman kind of pulls the regular leather-looking one down and goes, "This, my dear friend, is an interesting concoction we've created." He reaches his hand into the bag and is holding something in his hand. And he throws it behind you, and as it lands behind you,
oh, it's the bag I'm thinking it is. I would love that.
you see a weasel.
It is the bag. Orange clapping.
And it kind of like skitters through your legs, runs up his back, and then he holds the bag open, and the weasel jumps back into the bag. We
Does
call
this
this
one do
one
that
the Grey Bag of Tricks. And each time, and he goes inside and he reaches and he throws it out again, and this time it turns into a boar as it lands here.
That is amazing.
And as he kind of gestures for the boar, it kind of walks past you, and he holds the bag open, and it kind of jumps and shrinks back down and lands into the bag. The only difference between what we have on this bag and the other bag is the different creatures that you can become.
That's very interesting.
The most ferocious one that can come out of this bag is a direwolf and a giant elk. Out of the other bag, It can become a lion or a brown bear.
Has Kaporn ever seen a lion before?
You've seen pictures.
Oh, interesting. How much do the bags differ in cost?
This gray one, you're looking at 1,750 gold. The rust one is 1,950 gold.
And the other bags as I know them. Oh, interesting. That's a big keeper. I was also interested in these boots that you have here.
He's kind of like looks down at the bag he's holding, like,
I also
oh, you're one of those people. And he puts it away, and he's like, no longer like, he's gonna help you, but he's no longer like excited to help you. You're like, oh, you're one of those people who just wants to know what everything is, and then he's gonna be like, okay, I'll come back tomorrow and buy that. So you're one of those type of customers. He's putting in his head. The boots. He holds them up, and as he goes, he slides off of his shoes, and as he goes to put his feet into each of the boots, these little wings come off the side of the boots and kind of sit there. And as he does so, he starts to rise up and sort of like moonwalking in a spiral as he goes up, and then kind of darts through the air in a couple different directions. Not too far away, 5 feet in either direction. He's not going crazy, but at the same speed as he's walking. And then he kind of circles around you and goes back to his spot and lands back down. Allows for a bit of flying throughout the day.
You
Up
know
to
how
4 hours at one time, or multiple times, at least a minute apiece.
Oh, so yes, you would have to stay in the air for at least a minute?
Correct.
From the backpack, you hear, how much?
He's like,
Yes, how much?
Yeah, it would have been in Caparin's voice.
yeah. But he heard it from like somewhere way distant. Can you throw your voice?
I don't think so. Did you hear something?
Of course, I'm a performer.
Even now, Kaporn's even
Stop
looking
messing
around
with
like,
me.
Hold on, 1 second. Kaporn turns around. Is there something on my back?
I lay perfectly still, like a Chewbacca backpack.
He's got a weird feathery backpack.
Kaporn's like, I knew it, and throws his arm back and trying to grab Richaw.
He's just like, ah! And he just gets yanked off and pulled over the top.
There you were. Kaporn just kind of tucks him under his arm. It's like, okay. This is Richaw. Kaporn presents to the keeper.
The guy's just like,
He's like,
Hi.
hi.
he's very good at mimicking. I'm sorry about that. But you were saying how much for the boots?
1,700 gold.
It sounds amazing. What's the word I'm looking for? Do they have to be attuned?
Yes.
He hears the attunement thing and just like sags visibly. He's like, oh. He's got so many friends now. He's got the ghost hand. He's got a case he had.
Yeah. Okay. Kaporn, all right. You can definitely add that to my
Come back
purchase.
tomorrow and buy it list? Okay, I will.
No, I wanted to know.
Oh, you're gonna buy
I
all of
didn't
these
see them
now?
Not all of them, just this, the boots at least.
Alright. And he kind of puts the boots off to the side. Not too far away from the shelf, but still off to the side.
And the last item he would be interested is the cards. I'm not trying to take up the whole session on shopping.
The cards.
I'm sorry, everyone, about the shopping.
He takes the deck of cards and kind of holds them, and the case that they're in, it seems to be a wooden case, but as he kind of like spins it, he holds it kind of canted off to the side, so he's got the two ends, and spins it, and as it kind of spins, it sort of seems to lose its shape, and you see a bunch of like, they're just flashes, but a bunch of different pictures seem to show in the space of the deck until he stops it, and it just looks like the regular deck again. Unfortunately, we can't take this out and show it off like many of these other items that we can, because taking one out would degrade the value of this deck of illusions.
Interesting.
But you draw a card from the deck at random, and depending on which card you get will dictate what illusion is created and portrayed in front of it. Like, my favorite is the Ten of Spades, which creates the illusion of a frost giant.
That could cause some terror in people, I think.
It's definitely not for the feeble-hearted or feeble-minded. And I'm not talking about the spell. Though I'm sure a feeble-minded person would probably think all the illusions are real, so maybe not for the feeble-minded either, but I digress.
Yes. As Kaporan's like, isn't that interesting, Rachel?
Chaw's over at like the glass box of the fancy stuff, and he like looks over. He's like, "Oh yeah."
Wonderful. Well, I'm think one of my friends will actually be interested in that. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. What did you said the gray bag was how much?
The gray bag, the rust bag is 1950. The regular bag is 1750.
I could get both of them. They both require attunement, don't they?
I don't think the bag does. Nope, the bag does not.
Bag doesn't require attunement. That'll be all my money. Thank you for showing me the cards. I think for now I'll take the boots with me.
He kind of looks surprised and okay, and waits for the transfer of funds.
Oh, I'll pull out the 1,700 gold pieces.
All right, taking the 1,700 gold pieces from you, casting a quick spell to take off the binding spell that is on them. He hands over the winged boots, so you can put that in your inventory. As he does so, and hands it over, now that there's a space created, Racha, you see as he kind of gestures to the guy who's taking care of the stuff that's underneath the glass, and the guy takes this ruby out from underneath the glass, hands it over to him. He casts another spell on it and puts the ruby in the place of the winged boots. Seems to be one of those items that was probably right on the brink of going to either location. but it's a ruby that's carved and looks almost exactly like an eye.
Fascinating. Is there anything else in the glass box that catches my eye?
Well, bird liking pretty things. Pretty much
I know, right?
the other 4 items would all catch your eye, but you would know that these are the expensive things.
Exactly. He's a big spender.
Are you asking about each item in there, or?
I'd ask about whatever interests me, so vague description first.
Okay, so there's a belt in there. There was the ruby. It got transferred. There is a looks like a jade scarab with gold filigree on the ends of it, very intricately carved. There is, where's the last 2 things? Oh, there's this interesting bottle with this liquid inside that seems to constantly be shimmering and changing colors. And then there's a flask made of iron.
Me as a player understand what an iron flask is. Would Racha be interested in an iron flask?
That's up to you playing Richaw. I mean, a lot of your people in your group have flasks, so
It's like the least shiny thing in there, though. It's like,
Yep.
ooh. He'd actually probably be interested in the liquid first, the color changing liquid thing.
This, my dear bird friend, is what we call sovereign glue. It is a very viscous substance. And 1 ounce of this glue can cover about a square foot surface. Takes a minute to set, but once it does so, the bond it creates can only be broken by the application of a universal solvent, oil of etherealness, or a wish spell.
Only knows like one of those words, and that's like etherealness, maybe. And he's like,
It means,
like-
dear bird, only the very high level spell or an act of God is going to separate whatever you glue together.
that's fun.
He makes a chariot that won't fall apart.
What's that?
chariot.
What's something like that cost?
It's gonna put you back 7,000 gold. Here we have 7 ounces of the sovereign glue.
Would he have the phrase, "That's a huge bitch"?
I don't think that one specifically, no.
That is fair. He's like,
You do have goddamn.
God damn.
You'd have to fuck the fucking queen for something like that.
It is a bit expensive, but it has put castles back together.
Interesting. Not enough. Sort of shrugs.
Oh, maybe you'll find something else interesting. Or back with some more coin.
He'll like give the more or less hand gesture that he usually does is like 5,000.
I'm sorry, it's whoops. I'm sorry, it's based on the amount of ounces.
He just nods. He's like and gestures towards the glass box.
Oh, you're looking for something 5,000 or under?
If it's possible.
She would say that the scarab the scarab, the belt, and then that ruby that got transferred over to the other place. So the belt is 5,000, the scarab is 3,500, and the ruby is 2.
Just because I want to hope what the belt is, I will ask what the belt is about.
It is a belt of cloud giant strength.
Wonderful. I just thought it would be hilarious to see Rachel with something like that.
Does require attunement.
Worth it to have all of a sudden a 28 strength or whatever
27.
it is.
27.
Just the strongest Kenku in the world.
Just all of a sudden, Rachel's
straight
lifting
ripped.
bridges.
Rachel comes back looking like Arnold. Sup? Now
Like he has baseballs underneath his skin.
Everything he speaks now has an Austrian accent. And he knows the line, get to the choppa.
Wonderful. And the Choppa is, of course, the name of the cloud giant city he's from.
Yep.
But, yeah, he'd probably be interested in the scarab then.
Scarab of Protection. So it gives you advantage on saving throws against spells. And then if you fail a saving throw against a necromancy spell, or a harmful effect originating from an undead creature, you can use one of the 12 charges and turn the fail into a success.
Very interesting. He'd be impossible to hit with a dex save. Is it take attunement?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just so torn that he doesn't
Usually all
want
the
to.
expensive items require attunement.
For sure, he just doesn't want to de-attune to what he's got. He's got such good things right now. So the scarab is all 5,000.
No, Scarab is 35. The belt was 5,000.
Gotcha.
The ruby is 2.
He'll point at he'll do the scarab and the deck that he was referring to.
Okay.
Whatever that. And if he would like to, he'd probably haggle for some sort of like 500 gold off deal.
Make a persuasion check. Sorry, your prices are pretty strict.
Fair enough. So it was what, 35 plus 19?
Correct.
So it's 54.
Correct.
Yeah, he can do that.
All right. So you can add the Scarab of Protection and the Deck of Illusions. Kaporan as you see this bird just shit out money from his little coin purse to pay for these 2 items.
I'm trying to like keep a good assortment of coins still, so I'm gonna have to do some math, but I'll figure it out.
No worries.
I always knew you carried so much money on you, Raja. As Kaporan's seen him dump out cash before like this, he's just like, how the hell do you keep all that?
Investment.
All right. So those at the magic stall have been taken care of. Nori, we finally come back around.
Polly suggested that there could be people who would make something, and that he might help with that. At least talking to those people. Is that still on the table, Polly?
Yeah, sure, I can take you over there. I don't know about me talking to them making it any easier, but we can try.
No, you just being there is helpful.
Yeah. Amric had some questions about armor too. And I can take him across the street to the Twisting Nether, so you can talk to them as well on the way.
Okay.
So across the street to the Twisting Nether for Amric, and then to the Trident Trinity for the mirror.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
So, Amric, you get dropped off at the blacksmith. Before the two of them disappear over to Trident Trinity.
We're only going a couple blocks. We won't be too long.
All right. I'll hash out what I have here, and then I'll meet you guys over there.
So, Amric, what are you looking for?
I'd like to get some plate armor commissioned.
Just regular plate?
I'm not sure how much it costs, but a full plate.
So full plate? Ooh, it's like 1,500
I don't know. That might be too much for. I only have just under 3,000 gold, so it might be a bit too much.
Full plate is right around 1,500 gold, but if you're getting it made, it gives you a little bit more of like design and options like that. It won't be ready, obviously, right away. If you just want to take some of their already made plate, you can do that. That'll be a straight 1,500 gold.
How long would it take to have it made?
Full plate, you're looking at like 5 days.
I think we've already said we're staying in town for what, a week and a half minimum. So,
I thought it was a week because we have to get up north and get back down before it gets too cold.
which
Amric
is still
doesn't know
over
two
5
coins.
days. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll just have it made since that's still more than 5 days.
Okay, so having it made, you can message me whatever designs or whatever you'd like put upon said full plate. How design heavy are you going to go on it?
Probably not too much.
Are you looking for like full, like across the entire plate, like small markings, or like one picture on the front or back that's decently intricate?
Probably not really at all. Amric kind of just likes the idea of buying it himself and having it made for him.
So your name across the back with some numbers underneath, like a baseball jersey?
Yeah, exactly that. No, he'll probably get a small design like on the shoulder pads and I'll let you know once I figure out what I want it to be. But definitely nothing too intricate.
All right, if you're not going too intricate, it'll bring it down to about 1,400 gold.
All right. Well, I will hand over the 1,400 then.
Roger that. And we'll be ready in 5 days. Nori, Polly, you guys head over to the Trident Trinity.
So what is this place?
Jewelry.
It's a jewelry place, but I figured we could get a decent mirror here, or at least have one made if we're going to be here for a second. And it would probably be cheaper than 1,300 gold.
Let's see.
Okay. So we walk in.
Okay, decently young gentleman, human, behind the counter. Kind of looks slick, you know, that hair's very matted down, pulled to the back. Looks shady, but it just seems to be the hairstyle really that's doing it. He's decently warm in how he talks and greets you guys. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Trident Trinity. Is there something specific that you're looking for?
Seeing if we could have something made, possibly.
We do custom pieces, depending upon supplies and whatnot.
It's a mirror. It'd be a silver mirror.
Okay, we do have a couple silver mirrors here, as well as golden mirrors and jade mirrors. If any of those would already protect your fancy, but we do custom work as well. You guys supplying the materials for it, or would you need to be purchasing those too?
How much are the ones that you have?
Well, like I said, we got silver, gold, and jade. Which ones are you? Are you stuck with the silver feel?
Yes, we are. We're going to stick with silver for now.
Okay. Well, we got a couple pocket ones here, about 600 gold for this one. Pulls out a small, like, very much pocket mirror. This one's here a little bit bigger, more for the women who have bigger hair and need to see a little bit more. This one's about 850. And then we got a fancy one here, and he kind of pulls out a mirror that actually has a crease down the middle and hinges and kind of actually folds to become half the size and slide down. This one is 1,200 gold. This one's good for placing in your home, but also if you move around a lot, or looks like you guys are some sort of adventurers, so maybe taking it with you makes it a bit easier.
As far as the folding one goes, can you make a slightly smaller one? You know, because they're heavy, and you know she's not that strong. Sorry, Nori. We were just looking right around the 1,000 gold mark.
1,000 gold, size-wise, hinges are usually used for the heavier things. So we could try, but I would probably suggest maybe something closer to in the vein of the, and he points to the 850 one. Of this one, just in a different sense. Are you looking more for quality or size?
Quality.
Okay. Well, we can definitely work around the 1,000 gold. Are you capped at 1,000, or do you have leeway down or up?
The minimum would have to be 1,000.
Okay. So in that regards, we can use decently pure silver. Any sort of designs or anything you're looking at doing?
Alright, looks at Polly because this is gonna be his mirror too.
I mean, did you want to put some symbols around it, like some universal, like druidic symbols? Because I can use it no matter what symbols are on it.
Would the extra things cost extra, or how much?
Well, obviously, it kind of gets baked into the price if you're at least, doing a bottom of 1,000. So, like, if we wanted to keep you at close to 1,000, but you wanted to add some things to it, like symbols and whatnot, then we just use a less pure silver to help compensate. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's keep it with the pure silver then, or the more pure silver.
Okay, we can do a simple thing, and he kind of quickly sketches out a design. Looks like it's got two handles that come off the sides of it. Kind of like if you were to hold it sideways, it almost looked like a scroll. So it's two handles on either side that connect to the overall oval mirror in the middle. We could do something like this. It's pretty simple. Uses a decent amount of silver, keeping it pretty pure. Obviously, we're going to have to get into the construction side of things, and if we run into any hiccups or have to use a little bit more silver, I'm gauging this to be around the 1050 to 1100 gold mark.
That works.
And the two handles make it much better for, like, being on the back of a horse and holding it up.
Absolutely. What is the time frame we're talking right now?
I've got to talk to my smith to see when he can pour the silver. But as far as making the mold, and glassmaker's pretty quick, like 2.5 days.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, are you down for that, Nori? All right, then yeah, let's do that.
All right, perfect. It's half up front, so we'll just do a simple 500 now, and anything more that ends up coming up, you let me know, and I will. When you come back to pick it up, we can settle on then.
Nori will hand over the 500.
Roger that.
And hey, we can use it as a tea tray when we're not using it for scrying.
Perfect.
All right. So we finish with a sketch, kind of make some alterations and pointing things out, and just the stuff for his mold making. It kind of like stops and looks up. Anything else? All right. Have a wonderful day.
To you as well.
Thank you very much for your help.
And he just gets back to making more notes on the paper.
Thank you so much, Polly.
No problem. I mean, anything to save some money. Jeez, we need that money for like diamonds and shit.
All right, should we see where everyone else went off to?
As you guys,
Yeah, I don't think we should leave Kaporn on his own for very long.
as you guys start heading out, you see Amric kind of not really protecting himself from the rain, just kind of tilting his head down a little bit as he's going.
Not like it's cold for me, so.
Yeah, you didn't know exactly where you're going. You just knew a couple blocks, so you're kind of just like slowly wandering through the street in the direction they went.
Hey, did you get what you needed?
Yeah, I had some armor commissioned. They said it'll be ready in about 5 days.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, sure. Yeah, I you know what we might do, and I know it might be a big ask for him, but my dad might have some extra stuff just in case that you can practice with, so that when you get yours. But we'll ask him. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't want us to dent it all up or anything. And if you're training with Kurmarsha, that might happen. But
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to put him out of any potential business.
yeah. But I mean, hey, that's great. I mean, how did you end up spending a whole bunch of money, or was it on like the lower side, or?
It seemed to be on the lower side. It was 1,400 gold.
Wow, that's a really good deal. Wow.
Yeah, just some simple designs on it.
Well, we were heading back to the companion to make sure that Kaporin didn't get into any more trouble. You want to grab a pretzel? They're really good.
I haven't had one in years.
I heard companion, and I'm sure you meant going back, so Amric will nod.
Bryn, is there anything specific out of any of these places that you might have wanted to look at, garner, or buy?
She just would have checked with Polly if his dad mentioned anything about the flask, or if he mentioned it. Just seeing if, because she knew that was something that he might have talked about.
Yeah, if you had mentioned that before we left, I would have actually taken you to the jeweler as well.
Yeah, I'm like, I would have wanted to get one of those, but I'm like, I don't know. I know she would have asked, but then I went kaput. So if that's something that the jeweler would have done, I would have done that, or I would have just been on the lookout for a fancy flask.
Well, there's definitely a fancy flask with the boys.
She doesn't need a magical one. She's just like, I just need it to hold and drink.
It could be anything. It could be like the best thing in the world, though. It could also be
a
the
plastic
the
flask
worst
is
thing in the
pretty
world.
fucking great.
We don't know.
Endless possibility.
So as far as fancy flasks go, at the jeweler's place, there is one. It's very fancy. It is the jewel and laden flask. 1,395
That just
gold.
sounds too fancy for Bryn. She's like, I want a fancy one, but not like fancy for her, not fancy for like.
I'm sorry then, dear. Unfortunately, we do jewelry here, and so this one has plenty of beautiful jewels in it. It's a 1,400 gold flask.
A little too much for me, but it is beautiful.
At the companion, you can find varying degrees of traveling flasks.
There's our. That's it.
With the most costly one costing you about 200 gold. That one.
Okay.
That one is
Yeah,
a gold-plated one.
No, not that one. I don't know.
Would that be able to be carried on a plane rider then? Because it's gold?
Yeah.
No, she'll just go for. I don't know. How much
a
was the other
nice
one?
silver flask will be 50 gold.
Sure, let's do that.
All right, there you go. A
Child
silver
over here
flask.
dropping 5,400.
Yeah, and she's over
50
here.
gold.
God, 200 gold's too much. Hold on. One party member must be frugal.
Which I'll try
mirror is
to barter
necessary.
at least.
I spend sometimes, okay?
On flaming longswords.
Exactly. When we find one of those again, great.
Okay. So with that, guys, those getting pretzels, purchases made, coordination eventually between all the groups of the party, everyone sort of conglomerates over at the pretzel stand, enjoying your array of plain salted or cinnamon pretzels by the man named Wetzel. It's about midday, and you guys have a dinner date later with Kerr, Marsh, and Laverne. But before then, we're going to have to end it there, as I do have to start to get going. Appreciate everyone understanding. Any questions, though, before we head out?
Should I have asked the shopkeep what was in the iron flask, or would I have even bothered asking them about it?
That's more of a Richaw question. That's an internal fight question.
Damn it.
I mean, we all have flasks except for you, so
I need to get a flask.
Racha would be the one to get a flask that has like a hell demon in it.
But you did say it was not part of the under 5,000, so you probably would not have
Yeah,
asked.
for sure. It's just one of those things. Like it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, no. He goes to take a drink, and all of a sudden, their Balrog comes out.
What was the journal?
Who
I'm not gonna go
knows?
back and buy it.
I'm going to the magic store. I want to look at all the stuff. I have nothing I'm attuned to. This is all free game for me.
Well, you guys can
Aaron's
say.
over here flying around, just rubbing it in Rachaw's face.
Yep.
Rachaw's about ready to shoot him.
Well, you guys can have all that discussion and then decide where you want to go. You have a few hours until dinner, so that'll be left up for next session. Alrighty, guys, thank you. And if I don't, feel free to message me if you have any questions. If I don't talk to y'all before then, have a great week, and we will be back on Thursday.
Night.
Night, y'all.
Alright, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Night.
Thank you all for staying with us. A bit early one today, but I have to get to the airport, so you guys have a good one. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.